I grew up in New York on Long Island, and I was always a singer. I always loved to sing. I started piano when I was 6, and then guitar when I was 12, and I was always writing little songs. Like, this is so appropriate for my personality. It was called Stuck With Him, and I wrote a tragedy. And the first line of the song was, "I've been sitting in this very room for years." And I think that I was writing it about sharing a room with my younger brother at the time. But I was like a 70-year-old woman when I was 5 years old, whatever. Anyway, moving to Allen was actually, I mean, it was really hard at first, like very, almost like traumatic at first because it was such a big move. Ended up being such a blessing because they have a great program there for choir, and they recognized me or whatever, and in a way that my old school had kind of brushed over me. And they gave me a lot of support, and I ended up going through the Texas State Choir auditions and that whole thing, and made it to the state choir, which was awesome because I love choir, and I think that's shaped me musically in a lot of ways now, what I do with my loop station. Comes a lot from that choir background where you're constantly, your own part, but you're aware of all the other parts in the choir. Literally went from me putting YouTube videos online just for the fun of it, or just, for my friends or whatever, to finding an email that I thought was spam from someone with Nigel at Go Productions, just saying, we saw your videos online and we're doing this show and we'd really like you to be a part of it. So I was like, I don't know. And they were like, we can't tell you what it's about, but we need you to sign some kind of contract saying that you're okay with it. It's kind of like a documentary about local musicians. And then I went to do a meeting with Pascal Hall, who owns the Opening Bell coffee shop in Dallas that I play at a lot. I went to meet with her and instead was bombarded by cameras and all of that. So once I finally got to the stage, I was really, really nervous. I stepped out on the stage for sound check and I was like, oh yeah, like it was good. And then Rod came out for the sound check, and he was so comfortable and casual and just so sweet. And he was sitting right here next to me and started to sing Have I Told You Lately? And I just was completely, like, the whole week hit me right at that moment. And then once the actual performance hit, it went by so quickly. It was like, and everyone told me it was going to go by so fast, but it really did. It was, just the blink of an eye. But Alan especially reached out, and they wanted to do an interview once they heard about the show, and so I was able to do that, which was so great. I mean, and crazy for me, because after it came out, everyone that I kind of went to high school with and all those families are calling me and contacting me, being like, you're on my magazine. I was like, I know. Life is going to push you so hard to give up. Like, life is going to be like, get a job, get a real job, settle down. My advice would be, know for sure that you love music regardless of it being a career. Like, I think it's so necessary to have kind of a hub, like a central place where everyone can come back, and community is so necessary with musicians. I mean, I do it on my own, but I still have all these people around me that I play with, or I can, collaborate with, or just talk to. Like, you need those people. So a website like this is so necessary to create that community, because otherwise we're all just, like out here on our own doing it. Well, this is my song called Count the Silence. The sun sinks so low and the clouds take the mic. I remember each time a new lightning bolt strikes. My mother would tell me to count the silence. She said, when that storm is moving along, by the space in between every crack and boom song. So until you hear nothing at all, count the silence. the night, covers pulled over my head, all much too tight. I'd squeeze shut my eyes, keep tears trapped behind, and I'd focus my mind, I'd drown out the fright and count the silence. Now I know you well, that's the least that I've earned. I've been sticking with you, and I started to learn that you talk real loud, but you love real quiet. Now I've grown a sense for your whispering ways, but lately I feel you just whispering away. And I know you're right here, but the space in between us spans miles. And I lay in our bed in the dark of the night, covers pulled over my heart, oh, much too tight. And I squeeze shut my eyes, keep tears trapped behind, and I focus my mind, listen for signs and count the silence. Sky is closing up, but I'm scared to stop counting silence. You're moving along, but I keep right on counting silence. I'm Arielle, and I support Chosen Musicians.